Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they're here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some new friends today. The American Heart Association's signature women's initiative, Go Red for Women, is a comprehensive platform designed to increase women's heart health awareness and serve as a catalyst for change to improve the lives of women globally. It's no longer just about wearing red. It's no longer just about sharing heart health facts. It's about all women making a commitment to stand together with Go Red and taking charge of their own heart health as well as the health of those they can't bear to live without. Making a commitment to your health isn't something you have to do alone either, so grab a friend or a family member and go red today. Because today I'm fortunate enough to speak with Janine Mason, chair of the Go Red for Women 2023 Southern Arizona campaign of the American Heart Association. Janine, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Hello, how are you doing today? It's so good to be here.
I'm doing very, very well. So let's talk a little bit about the American Heart Association, and then we'll dive into the Go Red for Women initiative that you're in charge of. Tell me about the American Heart Association.
Well, the American Heart Association is approaching its 100th-year anniversary.
Wow.
Since its inception in 1924 as being the largest voluntary organization dedicated to fighting heart disease and stroke. I don't know if everybody knows this, but heart disease is the number one killer worldwide, with stroke being second. So you understand the importance of this organization and the work they do. In fact, the American Heart Association has raised over $5 billion and put that towards research for heart disease and stroke.
That's incredible. I thought bears were the number one killer. It's not. It's heart and stroke. Who would have known that it's our health and probably
and especially
what we're putting
among
in our
women
body.
too, which is important to know. Yes.
And that's why you're in charge of what you're focusing on, and that is this Go Red for Women initiative, really making women so aware of their heart health and taking charge of their health.
Exactly.
So tell me all about that and your organization and what it's really doing and the mission behind it.
Well, the Go Red for Women campaign originated in 2004, so we're actually approaching our 20-year anniversary of the Go Red movement. And again, it's to raise awareness, education, and research funds for the number one killer of women, which is cardiovascular disease. So today we face a new challenge, though, for women, is that it's so many younger women are impacted by heart disease, and especially women of color, and they don't realize that this threat is real. And so our job is to raise that awareness and make sure women are taking care of themselves and getting those checkups, going to the doctor, and making sure they're taking care of their heart health.
Yep, I was on your website looking, and the number one killer of women causing 1 in 3 deaths each year. But the simple truth is that most cardiovascular diseases can still be prevented with education and healthy lifestyle changes, and that's what's important. And that's what's all over your website as well, is there's a lot of resources there, a lot of blogs, a lot of stories. And I wanted to ask you, what made you get involved? Personally, what's your story and why you're involved and believe in Go Red for Women?
Well, yes, there's so many amazing stories, and I work in the healthcare industry, and so the company that I work for, Quidel Ortho, we're one of the leading medical diagnostics companies in the world. And so my job there has been a lot of the community outreach, and so I got involved in the Heart Association through my organization. We do a lot of cardiovascular testing. And really during the pandemic, I know I'm guilty of this, not taking care of my health, not going to the doctor, being incredibly stressed. I know my company was working overtime, creating diagnostic solutions during the pandemic. And so I recognized the stress I was under. And so working with the American Heart Association made me realize how we've got to get women to understand you have to pay attention to your health. You have to put yourself first. You got to make that doctor's appointment and go in and get checked, because so many of these cardiovascular diseases are preventable. And you can catch them earlier, and you can do things to help yourself if you take the initiative to go and see your doctor.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to go see doctors sometimes because we're all so busy, we're all so broke, and we're all so stressed out that it's hard to make time for ourselves. But that is the thing you got to make time for. And even again, it's hard because I feel that some of my generation and some of us, when something makes us uncomfortable, they cower. And I try to tell people you got to walk toward what scares you, even if it is the dentist, even if it is the doctor, or going to go get blood work done. You can't be afraid of the result. that's the thing. You can't ignore it. It's not going to go away. I do that with my bank account sometimes. Guess what? It doesn't fill it back up.
Taxes don't go away either.
No, they don't. And if there's one thing for sure, it's death and taxes. And we're trying to make sure that death's door is far, far away by making sure that you're healthy. Let me ask you this just because I'm curious. Why, or have you noticed an increase in the younger people, in the younger population, whereas they are having more heart problems younger now than maybe they were a generation or two ago? Is that something that's going on where young people are young people just not aware?
I think they're not even aware to think about it and to, maybe go to the doctor as often. And especially with the health concerns that have happened over the last few years with the pandemic, I think we're more at risk. And so it is important for those younger generation to think about themselves and to pay attention because it's more preventable at that age too. So if you take that initiative, you can hopefully change your path. But there are so many women, and a lot of those stories that we tell at our event, at our luncheon for Go Red for Women, is a lot of those younger women. In fact, our keynote speaker this year is someone who survived a congenital heart defect, when she was very young, and her journey throughout life, living with that. And so that's, most of those stories are young girls and young women who have survived heart disease and are able to live and tell their stories because of the work the American Heart Association has done and the research that we've done that can support these young girls.
Yeah. And again, I think another thing that I know when it comes to some of my friends and family, it's like, we're 40, folks. I know I feel like a kid. I feel younger. But that's, I think, some of my friends is they're a bit immature. Even though we're 40, they're kind of still acting like they're 20-something. It's like, no, your body is aging regardless of your mental status. You got to go get things checked out, especially if you feel a pain, if you feel a symptom, if you feel something that makes you uncomfortable. Don't be afraid of the doctor.
No.
Don't be afraid to go get yourself checked out.
And when I talk about young women, I'm talking about women, not necessarily teenagers or 20-something, but as 40 and 50-year-old women who have put our families first, put our careers or our children or other things before our own health, and being able to kind of step back and take a look at it and realize all that pressure that we've taken on ourselves. And I know I'm so guilty of it. That's what got me involved in this and taking care of my own heart health and my own health as a whole. And that's what's important. We're still young women, even at 55.
Right. And that's the thing. So when we're talking about young women, it's not like we're talking about you. We're talking about you out there and everybody listening. Because my audience does skew a bit older, but that's the point, is that even though you're skewing older, you're still young folks that really need to make sure that you're taking care of your older body. It's a lot of weird feelings now, I think, with my generation as far as that, where there's an immaturity, I think, and that's what's keeping them from the doctor. They think they don't need it. They think that I'm not old yet, I'm not there yet. It's like, no, you're due for a prostate exam. Exactly. And my friends are like, no, I'm not. They're scared of it. And it's like, no, you got to acknowledge reality. And the reality is that we're all getting a little older, and information is the only way we can protect ourselves, by getting checkups and listening to our bodies, but probably listening to our spouses and our better halves that are the ones that tell us to go to the doctor, right? Sometimes it's so difficult for ourselves to take that breath. Listen to someone in your life that is trying to guide you to be like, you've been complaining about this for weeks, or it's not nothing. These things that we try to make excuses when we might have an illness, but we brush it off. Listen to that person in your life that's close to you that's going to tell you, no, you've been mentioning this for 3 months. You might want to go get it checked out, because early detection is the only way that we can really survive some of these bigger things.
Yeah, and also thinking about our loved ones and your mothers and aunts and those too, and this awareness can hopefully spread to your loved ones, and making sure you're taking care of them and that they're taking care of their heart health as well.
Yeah, don't be stubborn when it comes to your health. So let's get people involved by getting everybody together, because the reason you're here is we're going to get lunch. There's a big luncheon coming right up, and it's going to be at the Westin La Paloma Resort on Thursday, September 28th at 10 a.m. Go hang out with Go Red for Women at the luncheon and tell us what's going to be going on there.
Super excited about this year's luncheon. Actually, our theme for Go Red for Women, the national theme, is Be the Beat.
Okay.
And maybe some of you have seen that or heard about that. But what we're actually promoting is that CPR, hands-only CPR training. I don't know if probably many of you saw Damar Hamlin from the Bills and
yes.
When he had his cardiac arrest on the field earlier this year. And That was really at the beginning of this campaign, and so he's been an incredible spokesperson for the American Heart Association. But that Be the Beat campaign is our theme this year for the Go Red event, and so we are going to be promoting that CPR training. We also are including a DJ at our event this year to promote some of those songs that actually go along with that CPR training. And if you follow our social media, we have these songs that we put on the social media campaign, and they actually are the beat that you would actually perform CPR at. But that CPR training is so important. And the one key thing, and one of the reasons why Go Red for Women is so important, is most women, if they have a cardiac event in a public place, people are afraid to perform CPR on them. It's more than likely women will not have CPR performed on them. In fact, men have a 23% higher odds of surviving a sudden cardiac arrest than women because of that fact. And so that's why CPR training is so important, and that it's so important that people know to perform this on women as well.
Yeah.
And women are more likely to go to the doctor and complain of those symptoms of any kind of cardiac arrest or any kind of cardiac event, and might likely be ignored for those concerns. And so that's what's important about our message at this year's Go Red campaign, or the luncheon. So that luncheon is next. It's actually Thursday the 28th at La Paloma. It includes educational sessions. So we start early in the morning, and we actually have breakout sessions. So it's an opportunity for you to kind of work with some vendors and learn more about cardiac health. And then, of course, we have our luncheon. We're going to have a fashion show. We love to have our Go Red fashion show. Yes, we wear red. It's very fun. Big part of what we do here at American Heart Association. And so we are going to have a survivor fashion show. So we're excited to have survivors of cardiac disease and stroke on the stage. We're very excited to have Dillard's providing dresses for this year's Go Red fashion show during our luncheon. But yeah, that DJ is going to be pumping that fun music as well. During that time, we're also going to have a lot of giveaways and auction. We've got some incredible prizes and that have been donated from around the town here, as well as some tickets to some big sporting events. We've got tickets to the Los Angeles Rams. We've got tickets to the San Diego Padres. Lots of fun stuff that we're going to be giving away that day as well.
That just sounds so super fun, and really a good, fun event to attend to get a lot of educational information. The amount of times that like CPR training and things like that come up in my life with parents too, that where they keep saying, I really want to get that CPR training. And it's like, yeah, we should go do that.
Yes.
This is a great event to go do that. You can learn about lots of stuff and learn how to not just save the lives of others, but save your own life. And that's a really big, important thing. What other things are going to go on for your organization throughout the year? You've got the big luncheon. How many times do you guys get together and do things like this?
We get together actually quite often, and some of the ways you can get involved is to be a donor. We have our Core Vitae Society for donors at a certain level, and they have regular social events where they get together here in town. And then we have our another society that it's about $1,000 giving level, and you're able to attend monthly events that we do here in town. We work closely with Monica's downtown, the Monica, and we love to have events there. They're so great. They've been super supportive of the Go Red program. But those are great events. We also, the one thing I'm really passionate about that Go Red for Women supports is the STEM initiative. So that's the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics industries, and promoting those industries to young girls. Mm-hmm. And so every year we host with the University of Arizona an event where we bring in young kids from around southern Arizona for the day, and we host educational seminars on all different types of careers you can have in those industries. And a lot of times young girls don't realize the opportunities that are there for them in those industries. I'm in that industry. I would have never known that was a possibility for me when I was in high school. So to be exposed to that and to see the opportunities and the ability to make changes is really inspiring. And, I've been doing the STEM program now for about 3 years, and I go in there expecting to inspire these young girls and get them to want to, go to school and become a scientist or become, anything in our industry. But I'm always leave there more inspired by them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so amazed at how bright these young kids are and so inspiring they are to me. And it makes me, want to keep coming back to to educate them and get them motivated to want to be in these fields.
No, it's true. I teach kids a lot. So I teach art, right? So with STEM, add a little A, you get STEAM.
There you go.
Right? So you throw that in there and then we're cooking. But that's the thing about it is that I talk to these kids and they're so bright-eyed and it's great. They're so talented. I teach art and I will see some of the stuff that they do and I'm like, you're better than a lot of my 40-year-old friends because they grew up on anime. So they understand like facial structure and human anatomy better than like the cartoons, some of the stuff we grew up on. And it's fascinating to see their skill level. The problem is that they don't know. They don't know. And I teach these kids that there's a red carpet, especially the gals. I say there's a red carpet rolled out for you in many industries.
For engineering? Oh,
yes.
my goodness.
They want women and even entertainment and comics. Like, are we really celebrating that the Barbie movie had its first women director? Like, we're celebrating a woman director did this much, and it's 2023 to celebrate a female director, right? They've been celebrating her since Wonder Woman. And it's like, oh, she's the one, huh? She's the one we get? That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
The way it's supposed to be is, again, equality and all that sort of stuff and equal opportunity. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. And I just think that some ladies don't realize it and they don't show up to an open door.
They don't know.
Yeah. So teaching young folks that there are huge opportunities, especially in the field of medicine and health, because that's the future, all right, it's never going to go away. That industry's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
That is a place to go find jobs. I've had a lot of friends that go back to school now and getting into nursing, male or female, getting into the healthcare field because that is where there are jobs and there's a need for it. There's a need for it.
Yeah.
So if you can get involved, you should. And if you're a young lady, you should also get involved, especially and find an opportunity for yourselves here with this great organization, whether it is the American Heart Association or the Go Red for Women's organization. Now, that said, there's a lot of volunteering involved in your organization. So even if you're not looking for a career change to go get involved, you can volunteer. So how can people get involved volunteering for Go Red for Women?
Well, absolutely. I mean, first of all, you can contact us at Southern Arizona Go Red. Our website is soazgored.heart.org.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a mouthful, but I'm sure we can probably tag it somehow.
Yeah, we'll just
this.
Google it too.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
But anyways, definitely contact our representatives here in Arizona and ways you can volunteer and be a part of this. You know, we're always looking to have people on board. I know with the Go Red for Women, we have an executive leadership team. And so they work closely with me, and it's a lot of executive leadership women in Tucson are involved in that. And so we get together again about monthly, whether it's on Zoom or in person, to map out and plan for this year's luncheon as well as the STEM event. So incredibly amazing group of women that we have. We have physicians on that. We have scientists. We have all kinds of women from different industries involved. But that's one way to be involved. And of course, you know, just being there to volunteer the day of the event is always important. Or just, you know, there's a million ways. You know, we have the Heart Walk here in town every year. There's ways to get involved there with the American Heart Association. But we're never going to turn anybody away, that's for sure. And one of the things that's important too is the companies, the local companies. You know, that's how I got involved. Is my company Quidel Ortho became involved, and we're very active with the American Heart Association. We're based in San Diego, so we do a lot of work there as well. But you know, if you work for one of these big organizations, find a way to get them involved. It's a win-win, you know, for your company and for the American Heart Association to get involved and make a difference for the people who need our help, the research dollars, but also for your employees, you know, to get them involved. Right now we're getting prepared for our Heart Walk in San Diego, and it's amazing, you know, to get all our employees out there and work for these events. It's great.
No, it's huge. And again, you can join the Go Red for Women movement right there on the website. And if you sign up, you can perhaps get a free, I believe it says a Shop Smart, Eat Smart digital recipe booklet while supplies last. But then you also have a great online store as well. People can go shop, go buy some water bottles, go buy some red shirts, red dresses, red hats, go buy some red gear.
Even ties. We have ties. I think
ties?
we have now ties for the men who get involved.
Nice.
So we're excited now to have a whole organization just devoted to our men who are involved with Go Red specifically. So it's not just for women to get involved with Go Red. We welcome men too to be on our board.
Heck yeah. Well, we've all got moms, daughters, sisters, and people that we care about. That's true. So we got to get involved.
Yes.
So now we've only got a few minutes left, but we might as well just go the distance because I have enjoyed talking about all this. And I want to ask you this because I really like to encourage people to get involved and to really help young people. So when we touched on that, are you a mentor
Oh, well, to the young girls, I mean, I'm very involved in the STEM thing. So I'm there the whole day. I teach some of the breakout sessions. So that is super important to me. And I do that not only here in Southern Arizona, but also in our San Diego
Yeah.
STEM program there. So for me, that's super important to be involved and be there hands on with those girls.
Yeah, because I want to talk about that. That's one of the biggest things that when I started volunteering and doing things, I ended up getting a mentor. And even when I went back to get a master's degree, I had a teacher. He was a mentor. Having that person in your life, having someone that you give kind of that power to be a mentor to you and you listen to them and believe in them, like a Mr. Miyagi, you want someone, a sensei, to really guide you down a path to success because they do know. And me having mentors is the only reason I've been as successful in my late 30s. It was meeting these people that really helped guide me because I now kind of knew the direction I want to go, but I didn't know how to travel or how fast or how or what, like I know what I want to do. Maybe I didn't know the direction is a better analogy. And they really helped guide me. So I do want to make that call out to if you are a younger person or have a younger person in your life, get them involved in this group and this organization, especially if they are in high school looking to get to college. I remember growing up, I was like, that's on a college resume. Have you done any volunteering? And I kind of scoffed at it. Like, who, what, huh? And now volunteering has become such a bigger prevalent part in all of our society and lives. There's so many more organizations to volunteer for. So really think about volunteering and try to go find a mentor, someone that you can really look up to that is an amazing figurehead in our community that's doing something that can teach you young ladies that like it really is about finding a career path for you using every aspect of what you can be. And the best way to see that is to see someone doing it.
Yeah.
So I always love that. I really always recommend getting involved with all this sort of stuff. So what a great organization that you yourselves can get involved in. Go find out. I'll give you all the contact information and everything else in the recap in a little bit. But you can hear me. I'm practically begging. I love when people get involved because it's all about community. Go find your friends. Go find the team that you're looking for. And that's the truth. And you'll probably find them at this great event and at this great organization. So get involved. If you had one wish for your organization, what would it be?
Oh, wow. The American Heart Association is such an incredible group, not only the volunteers, but the employees of the organization as well. And I think, God, my goal would be to reduce that number, honestly, of it being the number one killer of women. It's something that's so preventable.
Yeah.
And to change that and to get that CPR training, I think that's the first key. If we can get everybody to go out and do that, and it's so easy to do, you can find ways to do that on our website. And I think that's key. One of the things that's been really important in the past is we've required, like every school in Southern Arizona at one point had to provide CPR training to their students. And in high school, I don't know if that's still the case, but that's something I think is really important and something we should look into making sure we reinstate that if it is not happening still. But I think if we can teach those young kids CPR training in high school, what a difference that makes for them moving forward in the world and the lives they can potentially save. I think that would be pretty, and it's so easy. It's so easy.
That is
to do.
easy. I was just going to say, isn't there a facility where we teach everybody like all the things that are supposed to matter? Oh, how about school? Why don't we teach all these kids to make CPR training mandatory? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
The amount of lives that would be saved is very simple.
But it takes funding.
It does.
It does take funding, and I think that's where we're at right now. And being able to keep those programs in place, it's going to require funding, and so that's why we need the support of the Go Red for Women campaign. For example, programs like that. Without the funding, we can't continue to do this.
Well, there you go. So get involved and get inspired because today we made friends with Janine Mason, chair of the Go Red for Women 2023 Southern Arizona campaign of the American Heart Association, making a commitment to stand together with Go Red and taking charge of their own heart health. Thanks for joining me today, Janine.
Thank you so much.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing, time for a recap. I really enjoyed that conversation with Janine because I really love talking about young people and trying to inspire them to take advantage of opportunities, especially young ladies. What I was talking about is very true, is I'll meet these talented young ladies that are like in 5th grade that can draw better than my 40-year-old friends. And I make them make eye contact because they're looking down at the floor and I say, look at me. Has anyone ever told you that you're great at this? And then they look back down at the floor. No, look at me. You're amazing, right? The world is waiting for you. The red carpet's rolled out. You just got to keep going and show up. And that is true in this field as well when it comes to medical and medicine as well as healthcare. So look into that and look into, of course, volunteering, because that's the best way to get anything done and to meet friends and make friends. So I really just beg people to get out there, get involved, go volunteer, and, know what's going on in the community. Let's talk about that event real quick. Their luncheon is again going to be at Westin La Paloma Resort, Thursday, September 28th at 10 a.m. It's going to go for a few hours. They got lots of sessions, some breakout sessions, delicious food, lots to learn, and get that CPR training. So important. If I could grant a wish, it would be that they teach CPR training to every child in school. You can go find more information on this website. It says goredforwomen.org/en, so that might be easier to find. You can find them on Insta at American_Heart for the American Heart Association, Facebook.com/American Heart. And I do just want to thank our new friends at the American Heart Association and at Go Red for Women. We want to thank their sponsors of that great event: Banner University Family Care, Arizona Complete Health, Cadell Ortho, Tech Systems, and Optum. Local media sponsors include Lifestyle Tucson, Tucson Lifestyle, News 4 Tucson, iHeartRadio, and Arizona Lotus Corporation. That's us. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, or wherever fine podcasts are heart healthy. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, Frank Powers. Toot Toot Tucson. I love you the most.